Good morning, Silver Spire. This is Allie coming to you, recorded from my car. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Allie Phillips. I am one of our youth leaders, co-chairs of council, and member of our Affirm committee here at Silver Spire. I identify as trans, as queer, and as Christian, and I am so glad to be here with you today, this wonderful, glorious Sunday. I have had a difficult time making this video. There's been many attempts in many different locations, but here's where I've settled, so here's where it's happening because David needs it soon to get the service set up. We're here today to talk about This Is Me, to celebrate Pride, to celebrate our 1-year anniversary of accreditation, and we're also here to be with each other, to be in community, which is what we are, in my mind, called to be as a church. Especially in this time when it is difficult, when we are all hanging in tough, when, there's a global pandemic, there's a revolution happening, there is so much that is unsettled and unsure. I really believe that the one thing that we can be sure of is our love for each other. And what our Affirm process and journey has shown me about our congregation is that we are here for each other imperfectly with our whole hearts. We're here to see each other as we are. We're here to embrace what has been othered by society, by other churches. We are here to say that we are each exactly as we are, fully realized and loved and intentionally made by a loving creator. As children of God, we're here, and we were created with the intent of diversity and of showing all the glorious ways that we can be ourselves and that we can serve each other and build our faith and walk the talk and show what we as a community are intentionally about, which is love and building a bigger table and inviting everyone to come have a seat, even when it's difficult and messy, even when it's glorious and joyful, that we aren't fair weather. We're here in it to win it. And I think that is beautiful and vulnerable and tough and 110% worth it. We see the community members that come into our building, and we see the people who, find safe haven in cooling centers, when we're a cooling center, when we're a warming center, when, there's room for showers and there's room for laundry, and when we host, bazaars and supper church and dinners and even the things that, us as Silver Spire are not involved in, they're in our building. And I know that this seems, maybe a little bit all over the place, but the root of what I'm getting at is, we are called to community even when it's tough. And I think that we are seeing right now the tough times of what it means to be community, because we can't be all in one place. We're meeting virtually, we're social distance visiting, we are having Zoom calls and house parties online, and through it all, I think that we're really trying to be there for each other. And that's what Affirm is for me. It's that belonging and that desire to work hard at being open and seeing each other exactly as we are. I can't express how important that is. Well, when we began this process, I felt like I knew everyone pretty well in our congregation. I didn't think there would be any surprises in our learning circles, in our talking circles, in our celebrations of Affirm, in our Affirm meetings as a committee, and in the openness that we have found in engaging out loud about our identities, our gender identities, our sexualities, our our wrestling with those things, our aha moments about those things. But, the congregation, there's been many people who have shared, really important and wonderful stories of their identities, of the struggles of family, family friends, the struggles of, learning about ourselves and how we've dug deep and we've really, tried to answer the whys of how we are and who we are. And, above anything else, I think I'd also like to say thank you to, a group of people who have decided to make it real, to get into the nitty gritty, and to really see the God in each other and recognize that holiness and that divineness in each other. And I think that is just so worthy of our celebrating. I do still think that this journey has not ended. I don't know if it ever hasn't ended. I think that's really great, because for all of the celebration and joy in who we are and what we're doing, there's still lots of work to be done. There are still, systems of oppression and injustice to be dismantled, where there's still, entire populations of people who are misjudged and discriminated against and, harmed, and in need of somewhere to put, their love and their anger and their grief and their happiness and their joy, and to put that into community and to share with each other. I think that is the work that we've done, is that we have worked to create our imperfect community and to love each other fully with our whole hearts, and to see that and to welcome people in, and to see when we need to build a bigger table, when, not just add more chairs, but be expansive in our thinking about who's here and who belongs here and who isn't here and still belongs here, and I think as maybe redundant as my talk to you today might be, I think that it's important to note I'm really genuinely very proud to be a member of Silver Spire with all of you, and that we're saying to each other and that we're saying to our community that we're in this to win it. We're here together to love each other imperfectly, to get to the nitty gritty, to make mistakes, to mess it up a little bit, but to try our best, to follow in the footsteps of Christ, to say, here we are, trying our best, loving each other, loving the other, recognizing that we're all the other, distributing our resources and offering our space, and, especially right now, being the church outside of our building, in our communities and in our homes, and in finding new ways to connect with people when we can't connect physically. Taking heart in the fact that, through the difficulty in suffering and in grief, but also in joy and prosperity and love, we find God and we find each other, and that is certainly something to be celebrated. So I just wanted to say that I love everyone. I love each and every one of you, and I am so excited for the time that we can